I'm Jack Clark with Reel Knewz. And this behind me, well, this isn't my bedroom in Salford. This is Birmingham. Since March the 11th of 2025, the bin workers have been on strike, leaving council estates mounting and mounting with more rubbish. What is piling up here is not just rubbish, but the decayed state of the United Kingdom.
Well, the impact of these strikes, which are now into their 5th week, is being felt across the city.
A dispute allowed to get so bad, people say it's made them sick.
Birmingham bin workers have vowed to strike for the rest of 2025, or as long as it takes to get a fair deal.
They tried letters, they tried pickets. Now it's sirens, baselines and bin workers storming chambers. This is what happens when you cut 8,000 from the people who keep your city clean.
We will now commence the annual meeting.
I was going to say apologies for interrupting your meeting, but in truth, Lord Mayor, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. I asked members to declare an interest, and I wish to declare an interest in the striking bin workers you can hear outside this chamber. It is a disgrace that the leader of this council has not attended a single meeting of negotiations. There are people out there who are going to lose their livelihood, lose their homes, lose their cars, and you sit here and you do nothing. It's unacceptable, and we ask the question of Councillor Cotton, where are you in those negotiations? Get to the floor, get in the meetings, and get a resolution to this dispute. It's a disgrace.
Unite! Stand up and we fight! Unite! Unite! Stand up and we fight! Unite! Unite! We stand up and we fight! Unite! Unite!
I've got to declare an interest. The bin workers outside on strike are being ignored. Why should workers pay for politicians in action? They shouldn't. Will you take an £8,000 pay cut in this room? No. Not interested. Sorry.
I'm not a public footpath. I'm not a public footpath. And I'm telling you,
Member of the public, you're not allowed to touch a member of the public.
am I standing on a footpath? I'm not being an idiot, boss. You're being an idiot, telling me to move when I'm on a public footpath. I'm on a...
So I stood here reading this, yeah?
Yeah.
And a back tyre ran over my foot.
Went right over it.
Ran right over my foot. And she knows she ran over my foot.
I'm sorry to interrupt again, but Birmingham bin workers are losing £8,000 a year
negotiation. Rubbish is piling up on the streets. Bin workers are losing £8,000 a year.
Who is it that you're actually blocking in that car?
I don't know. We're not blocking anyone, sir. We're merely standing there having a conversation.
What's going on with this demonstration? Say, why is everybody out here?
Why is everyone out here? Because it's all the cuts that's happening in Birmingham. I'm personally out here over my loss of my wages as a bin worker, but I'm also here for solidarity for the rest of the city and the rest of the country, because the storm's coming for everyone.
Shame on you, John Cotton! Bin workers are losing £8,000 a year. They do a dirty job.
As the last protester was ejected, police closed in.
So I'm speaking to you on a level, okay? I've got no issues with your protesting, okay, at all. What I'm saying is, obviously this car's been kept here for some time now, so I'm speaking to you on a level to see if you'll move voluntarily.
I might move, but then somebody will take my place.
Okay, let's not be funny. I need you to move to let the car out, and then you can carry on protesting. How long are we going to wait? 5 o'clock? 5 o'clock. Yeah. And then you lot move in. And we'll move at 5 o'clock. Is that fair? All I can do is obviously I'll put that to him. If you're saying 5 o'clock, 5 o'clock we'll move. Yeah.
A deal was struck. Disruption would end at 5. Leaflets flew, the gates stayed blocked, and the crowds held the line. At 5 sharp, the road cleared and traffic moved. But this wasn't over. We turned to the Unite workers behind it all to find out why things had escalated this far.
I'm here today to send a message to John Cotton and the commissioners inside the full council meeting to tell them to get round the table and find a resolution to the dispute.
They told us that the worker roll was going and nobody else need to take cuts or lose any money. And then we found out in the last 2 weeks.
Hundreds of workers, bin workers, have been threatened with up to £8,000 pay cuts.
So this is a payment cut for our members in a cost of living crisis.
It's been dressed up as all different things, from equal pay to the council don't have enough money, but we do know that they're bringing in agency staff, and many of the agency staff are actually on a higher rate of pay as well.
They're throwing resources at everything but resolving the situation. So we know where their loyalties lie.
The reality is they are just giving themselves a
5.7% increase in their allowances. Now, if you look at what's going on in the finances at Birmingham, I would argue that the last people who deserve a pay rise is Birmingham City Councillors.
How did the council go bankrupt, for a bit of perspective?
Failed management.
Failed IT systems.
And they can't manage funds properly in there anyways.
Probably waste a lot of money on their friends and their fancy events.
Who is John Cotton?
Well, I'd barely heard of the geezer before.
So John Cotton is the council leader. The whole time he's been on strike and in dispute with the council, he's nowhere to be seen.
As you'll see by our T-shirts, we are trying to get him involved.
He's just acted to do the work of, in effect, Rishi Sunak and now Keir Starmer by enforcing savage cuts of hundreds of millions of pounds to services.
We've seen how key these public service workers are, because when they don't work, we've seen what happens out on the streets. The council declared a public health emergency. That is how important they are. Therefore, if somebody's doing a job that is that important, then surely we should be making sure that they get paid properly. And as a minimum, they shouldn't be losing pay.
Just over there's some campaigners from the Harborne Day Centre campaign who've been campaigning for over a year now against cuts to services for vulnerable and disabled adults in this city.
On the 31st of March, they closed my brother's day centre down, which had been tending for 44 years. He's severely disabled, and through to this council being bankrupt, the most severely disabled people are paying the brunt. This is our wall of shame, which we've been doing for the last 9 months, to show people how much money Birmingham City Council have wasted. Although they're declaring bankrupt, they're bankrupt because they've wasted so much money. The bin men are also paying for what the council have done as well. So we all need to stick together on this.
We reckon we're the test bed. We're the dam that's holding back the water. If that dam breaks, then it's going to be a free-for-all for the whole country. Everybody needs to jump on board with us.
Union or not, what can they do to be involved?
lots of things. They can show their support, send a message of solidarity. They can attend the picket lines. Obviously, any support and solidarity is greatly appreciated.
This council owes over £3 billion, or has a debt of over £3 billion. £250 million a year of is the repayment rate. 90% of that goes direct to the Treasury. So there's your answer. How about restructuring the debt? Just as you would do if you were giving money advice to somebody who was in debt. Give the money to local authorities so that they can actually provide services. And if you want a wider answer as well about where the money comes from, a one-off wealth tax on the 1% on the richest 1% would bring in 26 billion in one go.
Birmingham's bin strike is a warning shot for every town where services are crumbling and no one upstairs seems to care. These workers aren't demanding luxuries, they're fighting for dignity. And if they win, maybe it opens the door for the rest of us to demand better too. This has been Jack Clark for Reel Knewz.
John Cotton. I am. What? You're not Cotton, I guess, yes. There's a missing campaign for you. No one can find you. Really?
John Cotton, the finger's pointing at you.